CWL Anaheim is finally here, guys. It is time. We have all gathered in this arena for 3 days of Call of Duty. It is going to be so excited. There is so much going on here. I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined on our fantastic desk, as always, with Nameless, Study, and Pac-Man, ready to break things down for you, along, of course, with our wonderful casters and the rest of the production crew that is going to make this an amazing event. We're so happy to be here. Guys, this is my first Anaheim. It's not your guys' first Anaheim, right? You guys have been around for a while.
Yeah, Anaheim was the first event I played pro back in Black Ops 2. This place has so many memories. Can't wait for more.
Knocked you out of that tournament.
It's okay. It's my first.
You guys cannot start this already.
It's okay.
All right, well, we can't start that already because we actually have a very special announcement for you. You may be wondering where Champs is going to be this year, and it's time to tell you that we will be coming back to LA.
Yeah! Oh yeah!
LA, baby.
I can't believe what we're witnessing! Are you serious right now?
There you'll have it. You can see it August 16th to the 18th at UCLA, back in LA. It's going to be so fantastic. And I love, whenever they add Ben into those clips, it just makes it so much more hype.
I love Champs, and I love it being in LA, right? Like, that's when we had our first Call of Duty championship. So many nostalgia for all these players, you know, dates back to that first Champs, and it's just always amazing when it's in Los Angeles.
It's where dreams come true, man. That's where we
Our
did it.
lives changed in LA.
Lives changed right there,
Made a
man.
run. It's crazy, man. I'm
It was
excited.
unbelievable.
It is that one event that truly changes people's lives and careers, and having it back in LA is just great, man. Super excited.
Yeah, again, it's going to be so exciting. Back UCLA later in the year to close out the season. But before we get there, we have Anaheim, of course. They've got a couple streams, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and the open stream on Twitch. You can see them right there. Our Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel open bracket, of course, sold out with all those team passes for the amateurs, so that's going to be amazing. But also, schedule, let's pull it up, because getting things started is going to be FaZe Clan versus Splyce.
FaZe up.
And I want to focus, all right, Nameless, all right. We're going to focus on FaZe then. Sure. Kick things off. They've been looking good.
They've been looking incredible, yeah.
What do you expect from them here?
So a lot of people would have FaZe in their top 4 power rankings, and you know, if you're a little bit crazy, you might predict them to win this event, but it's not, you know, far-fetched whatsoever. They looked incredible at Respawn. They have some young talent in Asim and Selim who were starting to develop over those last 2 weeks in the Pro League. Asim had his best 3 days I've ever seen him play, and after talking to Zero the other day, and he said that Selim is the best player he has ever played with. Ever. And that's an extreme statement. That is heavy praise, but that is a testament to how good this kid is becoming, and I think this FaZe team is going to be great. If they can win some search and destroys, they can absolutely get a top 3.
That's the thing, though. We don't know if they fix that search and destroy issue. If they're going to win this tournament, they're going to have to be great in that mode, because I don't think that they're better than the other top Respawn teams here. I do expect them to beat Splyce in this series, coming with a villain, but search and destroy is going to be where it's at for this FaZe team. If you're a FaZe fan, you want them to come out in that game 2 and win it.
Another thing on the side of FaZe that's good for them is, like, there's not a lot of data on these guys, right? Like, they've been scrimming and stuff. Like, you can go back and watch 100 Thieves and be like, okay, they're good at Arsenal, they're good at this, they're good at that. And, you know, Slasher talked about it on Hot Mic, where teams know what they're weak at now. With FaZe, you don't really know that as much. So I think they have that, you know, in the veto process to their side as well.
But I kind of want to focus, Pac-Man, on something you just said. I want to talk about Splyce, because, of course, they are here at CWL Anaheim with their sub in Nolson. And they had a really tough 2 weeks at Pro League, and then he came in, it got a little bit better, but it seems like it's going to be a tough road. What are your thoughts on Splyce right now in Nolson?
They haven't had much time with them. I know they got a little bit of time in the league, about a week. But it's hard. They all switched their roles. They did play a little bit better, but in terms of winning this tournament, Danny just said it there on Hot Mic, they have no pressure on them. They don't expect to win the actual tournament. So he just has to come in and do his thing. He played well in his time in the league. In terms of winning this, I don't see much come from Splyce. It's just too hard nowadays.
But for Nolson, Study, this has got to be a big moment for him to be here and be up on that stage.
Definitely. They went 2-1 when Nolson was able to come in. He was either going positive or even. And if you have a sub player that's going to be able to come into your team and just be able to put up those kind of stats, even though their first week was abysmal, they went 1-3, just feeling really good about himself, that he was there and they were actually winning games. We heard Pac-Man say about everybody doing role changes. I'm expecting players to be able to step up in their roles. We saw Yuli at the Pro League League, putting on an absolute show. Him and Temp were the duo. And then one person is Danny. I'm really focused on how he's going to be doing with that SOG after that 2 weeks or whatever the amount of time he had just practicing with it.
Well, Namos, how far can kind of that vibe change you? Of course, they don't have actors anymore. How much bringing in a fresh face can sometimes help a team in situations like this?
Okay, so I would say during the league, in short term, where like you're not playing well at all, right? Over the weekend, you get a new player. You can ride that momentum and those vibes into those next few matches, which is what we saw Splyce do. They started to teeter off towards the end of that week, and now they had to go home and practice against some of these teams who've been playing a little bit. They get their butts kicked in a couple scrims, and you come here, and that honeymoon period's gone, right? Like up on that stage in this crowd here, like this is the pressure's on, and your mistakes will get exploited against a team like FaZe. So Splyce, they definitely needed to make some improvements over that time off. We'll see if they're able to in this match.
We will see, and on that note, we need to talk about the superstar on that team that is Temp, one of the best, if not the best player in the entire game. And look at his stats, of course, with AR, with the SMG, of course, that is the Mad Ops and the SOG. What do you guys think about that?
I think Temp, running that SMG, he was obviously incredible. He was the top of our damage dealt leaderboard like every day during the pro league, but he switches over to a Maddox and he can pretty much do it all for his team, and you can see how that's impacted this team, right? Like they're 29 and 21 map count. He's still at the top of the damage dealt leaderboard, and that's a testament to the caliber of player he is. He's one of the most versatile players in the game, and he's absolutely amazing.
And I believe it's something that Nameless said. Temp understands this game on a different level than everyone else. Yeah. So, like, at least that's what it looks like. So it doesn't matter. Use a SOG, he was going off. Instantly with the Maddox, he felt comfortable. He's just amazing in this game. I think it's the mechanics of something. He understands it at a whole new level. He's going to need to do that times 10 if they're going to win this match against FaZe.
And there's only a few players who are like that in every game, right?
Yeah,
they have that true talent and also the ability to understand that game to that next level. There are a handful of players in this game that are like that, and Temp's one of them.
All right, guys, thanks for sticking with us, but it's time to get things started here because CWL Anaheim starts right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come.
Here we go! It is time to kick things off, Joe. CWL Anaheim, one of the most fun and prestigious events of the entire year. And to kick things off, we've got Splyce and FaZe on the main stage, and the crowd already starting to fill in. I am very, very excited for this weekend, buddy.
Yeah, I am as well. I think this is going to be a very interesting series. Just looking at the tournament overall, FaZe is one of those teams, right? I think, and talked about it, a lot of power rankings. FaZe is a top 4 team right now. It could be a good weekend for them.
I guess my question to you, we've talked about the fact that they have all that slaying power, all that talent, but maybe not a lot of leadership. From your experience as a player, how important is it for them to get off to a strong foot in this first series?
Well, I just think it's important for them to do their job because there are expectations now, right? Like, I think coming into maybe Pro League, we knew they were going to be a good team. We knew they were going to have talent. But how good were they going to be? That was the question. And when you go 6-1, yeah, you lose to Optic, but they were improving.
Okay.
Now everybody's thinking these guys can do it, so they have to beat Splyce. I think it does have to be a convincing win.
Well, we're going to kick things off on Hacienda. I was talking to Zero before this series about the matchup, and I joked with him, like, don't get smoked by Temp. He's like, dude, he was just laughing during the veto process. Apparently, he was really liking the maps they got. And I think something like Hacienda's been a map he's dominated. Something like a Frequency's been a map he's dominated. What makes Temp so deadly on a map like this?
Well, I think not only is it Temp, it's actually Nolson to me, because I think Nolson is a player with that ICR. You just stick him on the ICR. He knows exactly where he has to be with the role. But yeah, we talked about it with players like Hook when, there's just so many routes that a player like Temp can take. He can get creative, but right now it's all FaZe these first 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's a healthy chunk of time off of the first hard point. Typically a whole hell of a lot scrappier, but all FaZe is now they're gonna fight for rock control. We swap over to the CM's POV. He gets cut down, so now you have back garage set up, you have rock, you have everything you want if you're Splyce. This is where you can answer back, but that is an atrocious start, 41-0. They just got bottled up by FaZe throughout that first hard point.
Yeah, but I think a big reason why is because, Splyce, they rotated so early on. There is some pressure from Asim. He's still alive inside the lobby, and he's setting up for Celium. You heard the Dash talk about it. Zero thinks this is one of the best players, if not the best player he's ever played with. We'll see if he can have a big weekend, because we saw in London when he was on the stage, he struggled against Optic Gaming.
Well, it's going to be 5 to drop, 1 being a team kill from Splyce, but most of it is going to be FaZe that's going to end up dropping. Now they've got control of back garage. They're trying to get the push on through. Looney will get picked off a Lambo and maybe an opening for FaZe to at least contest. But Splyce has done a great job answering the strong opening hold from FaZe to bring this close. The early rotation has certainly paid off. They've already put up 30 plus on the board. They're going to leave a few players here, and 3 are going to opt to rotate through mid-map. 1's going to hit all the way through Boathouse as they look to set up for fences, and Asim finishes the kill, but I thought for a second Olsen was hitting the 180.
Yeah, but you like this response from Splyce, right? That's why they gave up so much early time. They invested into that rotation at garage. They respond, but now it's FaZe's turn. You have this set up at fences. Watch number 1, though. That's Looney, who's setting up that long route, now has Aqua spawning with him.
That's a pretty unusual opening on a map like Hacienda. Typically so scrappy, so many retakes, so many breaks. You basically had 2 flawless holes to kick off the game, but now they're going to headbutt at fences. Number 6 in Scraps is trying to make a play towards top balcony. Timp is going to be able to pick him up. Jerd is actually 185 off of streaks. We'll see if he can get this with a combination of the objective time and maybe some kills as FaZe try to get forward, but it's Zero with the ICR in the back. He's able to pick him up, and Zero, since that change to ICR, specifically in their 2 weeks we had the league, he was lights out, man. He was impressive.
It feels like a lot of teams, I mean, in their ICRs are starting to figure it out, and maybe that's off of the success of Octane and 100 Thieves or RCDs on V United. You know, you can sort of mimic that strategy, but early on, and really throughout the middle of the year, ICRs, they were struggling, but now they're starting to take on over. Nolson trying to make a heads-up play, but it's a tie game as FaZe getting set up at Rock.
Well, we'll get right back over to Looney because he's 10 points off of picking up the Lightning. Cluster out, but doesn't look like it's going to connect. His teammate's falling in front of it as well, so he's not going to have anything to bait. He's going to actually get the streaks. I think the cluster did actually connect.
Yep.
It did a bit of damage, then Jerd picked up 2 kills, so I didn't think it was going to hit anything, but it's enough to get streaks. The Lightning comes in immediately after it, but the Lightning kills Aqua, Tip kills himself. Suddenly it's just Looney trying to hold.
And that's actually a heads-up play by Asim. So what he does as soon as that Lightning is coming on down, it's tracking that player, so he just runs forward. He's able to slide into those 2 players, and yeah, I think Temp got a little trigger happy, but they're able to break as he uses that Hellstorm. A great start for Temp, 13 and 5, and this is what we were talking about. It just feels like this guy's always putting up those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing for FaZe, I guess, is you get both streaks out of him basically instantly. I think he gets 3 total kills and maybe 3 or 4 team kills as well, but if you take a look at the top center of the screen, still a nail biter. 96 points for Splyce, 88 to FaZe. As we start to focus on the second set of rotations, it's Zuma holding Rock. Zero, frag grenade in the window, might be able to connect. Does he do enough damage with the ICR and the grenade? No, not able to get the kill. But we'll switch over to Celium, who's able to line it up with the Maddox. What do we have available from a specialist standpoint? Zuma's getting close to his TAC 5. Timp has his War Machine, and Jerd, the grab slam available for Splyce.
And already, this has been about 25 seconds for FaZe. They were flawless on this first hold, on this first rotation, right off the break, and Splyce just hasn't been able to contest, or maybe they're not even trying to. Again, we saw it that first time. They put so many resources towards garage. You already have Jerd setting up towards this Rock area, but as Zero is able to find 2, he's going to have some pressure.
Yeah, and that's fine if you want to rotate early, but the second you get broken early is where things could blow open for FaZe Clan. Now, can Splyce do it again? The grab slam's going to come through. 1 player over the top, but Looney has got his cover, and he's just going to grapple instantly to the flank to try and make a play as Jerd continues to be a nuisance in and around Rock. They're finally able to drop him, but inside the hard point is Splyce.
And this is a very similar setup from that first rotation. A lot of time for FaZe, but it's looking like this time, TAC 5 in. FaZe has a good setup. It's at Asim. He's going to jump in from water. And now it's on Splyce to break on in. Is Temp going to use the War Machine? He's going to invest it right away. Maybe this is going to catch them off guard. Nope, they have Flat Jacket ready. That is a nice cluster from Scraps. He's able to connect with 2, and this could be a point for FaZe to really break open that lead.
I think that's exactly what it's going to be. The early rotation for Splyce doesn't pay dividends like it did the first time through, and now the biggest lead we've seen for FaZe Clan since really that opening hard point, and a chance for Zero to get some streaks. On a 4 streak at 13 and 8, just 125 off picking them up. We'll see if he can do more damage than we saw from Tip on the other end of things. But when it's all said and done, what we're going to have a 65-point advantage to FaZe Clan. As we now look at the rotation across the fences. Splyce is set up, but FaZe a good chance to pinch here.
Yeah, Zero was worried. I think it was temp off spawn, put a couple of shots to him towards Garage, and now he's trying to hunt him down. So Zero is going to be out of the action, just playing slow, playing for those streaks. We know how important they are, but this is going to give Splyce time to set up. Scraps now, his War Machine ready. Both teams fighting for this shed control. Scraps is going to find two. Has the help of Zuma. Now Asim, they're all starting to fly on in.
Yeah, that 3-man hit through shed. They go, what, 4 for 0? That's 5 down for Splyce. A clean sweep. They don't knock out anybody from FaZe on that push, and what a retake it is. And then on the other end, the patience pays off. Zero is able to pick up the streaks. And speaking of streaks, Scraps now a chance to get some as well, and I think that is exactly what is so scary about this FaZe team. So many players with the potential to take over from a slaying standpoint.
Now, I think what's crazy is Scraps and Zero before these streaks, I mean, all of FaZe is getting outslayed. They were all negative at one point, so Splyce, yeah, you have temp going off, the slaying's there, but you're still losing. So fundamentally right now, FaZe is looking great.
Which I think would have been a question mark maybe leading into this. Would they be able to beat people when it came to the fundamentals? And right now, the answer is absolutely yes. I think a lightning strike, he survived with like 1 HP, but eventually will end up falling. Now just 43 points away from closing this out as FaZe Clan. Zero gonna ingest both the streaks. The Hellstorm just gonna find Aqua, but an opening maybe to get into Rock. Asim has this grab slam to work with. Some nice damage out from the SOG as well, and they clear out mid-map. They can't quite close it out here, but they can get darn close.
Yeah, Splyce is going to have to put pressure in. Nolson getting close to attack 5 boost, but that's it. Asim doesn't get the 3. Remember, we got the taco slam this weekend. Doesn't find the 3rd. I think we're going to give away some free tacos this weekend
I think we absolutely are. Scrap still holding on to this War Machine. Splyce has been able to contest, but not much at all. This FaZe Clan inching closer and closer to closing out this map 1. Splyce would need the miracle comeback to get this going, but now you're heading to a hard point that has been absolutely and utterly dominated by FaZe Clan throughout the first and second rotations. We're back to mid-map.
And this should be what we expect from FaZe, right? They look great in respawns at the lead. They look comfortable here, but I think the big question mark moving forward is going to be that search and destroy. We'll see what happens with game 2.
Well, game 1 in the books. FaZe strike early and often, and they'll get the first map on the board. Nice job controlling it from the early going. FaZe get the victory. We'll get it back to the desk to break it down.
Thank you so much, Maven. And there we have it. We are underway here at CWL Anaheim, getting into those very first maps. Of course, I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined by Nameless, Study, and Pac-Man. Now, we're going to be jumping around a lot this weekend because there's so many things going on Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. We don't want you to miss all of that action. So on that note, we're going to swing over to Charlie and see what happened there with Optic Gaming versus Units. And unfortunately for Optic, didn't quite work out the way they were hoping.
Whoa, now imagine the upset that would be if Units, formerly known as Denial, would come in here and beat Optic in their very first match.
That'd be
We talked
insane.
about that, right? Like that group becomes ridiculous. If Optic dropped their first game, that group becomes insane. Because you got Evil Genius, you got
Optic does notoriously come out slow on Fridays too. They just don't come with the same energy, but nowadays you have to, because they don't want to fall, they don't want to be that second seed coming out of pool even, because who knows the situations that come in the bracket. They just got to step up.
They're notorious for being slow in full play.
Yeah.
This can't be an event that you start slow in groups. Because you have like, the groups are pretty even spread, right? So you gotta start off strong. But let's take a look at what happened here at the very end.
Look at Brack. 46 and 22.
He's on a mission.
Oh my God.
Brack has had a pretty unfortunate season thus far.
He
man.
has.
Despite being such a great player, like it's 46 and 22. You don't see that too often on a map like this. Looks like Optic was trying to desperately get into this hill, and then Alex just pops that 2-piece to pretty much slow them down. And right here, Optic's in desperation while they're spawning out. Dashy's forced to pull out the Stepist. But it's just not enough. There's too much pressure on the side of Denial. Or excuse me.
It's not even that. It's just that also, in order to win this game, Optic has to hold and early rotation. Like, you see Units giving that up completely. It's impossible to break through the middle when you have full control like that.
Yeah, while watching that FaZe game, I was glancing over towards this one, and it was 215 to 170 in favor of Units. And Optic was just playing catch up the entire time, which allowed Units to kind of just rotate and set up and get that early time on most of the hills. And you know, right here, you kind of see that advantage come to truth, where they're able to just give up that last 10 seconds, rotate, and get the last 5 on you, close it out.
What do you think you need to see then out of Optic? If they usually start slow, what do you need to see? Is it across the board slow or particular players?
No, it's across the board.
Yeah.
they are notoriously slow. But in that game, we didn't get to watch the whole game, but obviously Brack just had a tremendous performance. And sometimes that's going to happen. Star players just go above and beyond to win a map. But Optic's really strong at search and destroy. They've proven that, so they just need to come back in game 2, win it, and rectify the series. I don't think it's that big a deal.
The problem for Optic in this series, though, right now is that units are a great search and destroy.
Yeah,
that was the one game mode that they were good at in the 2 weeks they were at the Pro League, and they just came off of that. And the one game mode that they were working on was Hardpoint. They couldn't seem to win one, and they take that game 1, and Brack has that performance, the amount of confidence that they're going to have going into the rest of the series. It's gonna be tough.
All right, well, we got to get back to Alpha, Splyce, and FaZe Clan. We're going to hand it back over to Merc and Maven.
Thank you very much, Katie. All right, so some shocking stuff happening already.
Well, I mean, the sort of question is why does Optic start slow? I think we were in the back and they don't show up for a scrim, right?
Yeah,
like
I believe they were a team. I saw a couple of sub-tweets going around, but I believe they missed their scrim today,
I think
so
it's
maybe
just
part of it.
I remember last year, like a big point that Optic roster had was we have to show up early and get scrims in, and when we don't get in that mindset.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a early day, if you want to call it that, but I mean, you hate to see that if you are, an Optimi fan.
Well, we'll get focused back to our current series, FaZe versus Splyce. Now, you said kind of going into the death toss that Search was the one mode you were kind of worried about for FaZe. You want to see improvements there. Why was that your thought?
It's where they struggled the most, but also if you're a FaZe fan, you cannot guarantee 3 respawn wins against 100 Thieves, against United, against Optic. Those series, they're going to go the stretch. They're going to go long. You have to win a game 2. You have to win a game 5. Sometimes you're going to lose that first hard point. Going down 0-2 in a series, it's not going to help you.
Well, Tim, already with 1 hit marker, not able to finish the kill. Zero is going to be sniping on the other end of things as both teams vying for mid-map control. Jerd able to get the entry, can't get away with his life though as the instant trade is there. Bomb now going to get planted at B. A 4v4 retake scenario now for FaZe.
That was an interesting setup. I mean, FaZe just completely give up that bomb. They play for that, bottom middle control, but Jerd's able to find the first kill without the trade coming too quick. So yeah, they're opting for the retake. And we've seen multiple teams play around either A or B for the retakes, but a lot of frequency, a lot of retake situations. Now we'll see if FaZe is going to be able to do this.
Trying to hunt him down. The entry fight's so important. It's Nolson, the super sub, that's able to get the first kill, but Zuma and Zero connect top middle. It's going to be a 2 versus 1. Zuma the last man up, 1 versus 1. Aqua there for the trade, and Splyce get the opening round.
Yeah, FaZe just a little too slow. I mean, they were trying to clear out the pipes, but while that happened, Nolson and Aqua and Temp, they go top middle. And when you have top middle control, you have this angle on the bomb. Zero does go up there, finds 1, but 2 are there. And I mean, Looney just played his life so well. So, I mean, if you're FaZe, you're going to give up that bomb. You got to play a little bit quicker.
You got to think. With the recent change that goes down, accuracy out, Nolson in, even more pressure maybe on somebody like Aqua to perform. Is he one of the guys you've really got eyes on for the Splyce side throughout this weekend?
I think so, but I think for Splyce, for me, it's the Sog duo, right? Like putting Looney in that situation with Jerd. Woo! Well, Zero with a nice shot there. Both of them not known really for their heavy slaying skills at times, so can they keep up with some of the best Sog duos?
Well, Zero gets that first blood, but it's Jerd that's able to get 2 before he drops, instantly answered by 2 from Scraps as it quickly becomes a 3 versus 2. Now the pressure on Nolson and Jerd to try and clutch up with under 60 seconds to work with. FaZe is going to go ahead and get this bomb down towards the A site. Can Jerd and Nolson find that entry?
Got to find the timing here on Zero, but it looks like Zero was going to spot them. Now playing with that pistol, just trying to back on up, wait for his teammates. Playing his life so well, able to slide on through, finds the first, almost gets the second, but somehow still alive. Can he get it? He can. Zero finds 2.
Opens it with the flashy play with the snipe. And that's the RK7 that does wonders at the tail end of the round, but it's a huge round from Zero. And not shocking to see that's going to be the best play.
Just his ability to stay alive in this area, and yeah, I mean, I thought if Splyce, if they could have found Zero in that situation, caught him off, but he does a good job, slides on through, able to spot him.
Well, that's what's going to be interesting. Like, does this FaZe team improve in search? Like as a team, or are they going to get by on just maybe individual plays? Like we know the talent is there. You just have moments like this where somebody goes huge. I mean, Zero and Scraps, they get all 5 in the course of that round. You expect big things from them. Well, it happened in search as well. Both teams have now taken their offense. More of a presence here from FaZe now towards this B site, but as Zero goes for the pick, immediately going to back it up and look for a different angle.
Yeah, it's just Zero trying to find that first blood. Able to spot Looney, but Looney's just going to plant that bomb, and now you have some help. I think there's hit markers on 2 sides. Zuma, though, from inner pipes, Has nobody watching over him as Looney as he gets taken down. Zuma, you see that nade in his hand. Is it going to connect? Nolson, the flinch. Not able to connect with that snipe. Now you're waiting for Temp.
And Zuma's been great in the early going of these rounds. Like maybe not first bloods, but almost instantly trading some of the kills that we've seen from Splyce. He's already got 4 on the board. Temp tries to go for the cluster. Cellium shuts him down. Cellium shuts down Aqua as well. Nolson gonna be the last man from this mid lobby to try and make the play. 2 versus 3 for Splyce. Jerd still hunting in the back. He's got 19 in the clip. They've got a chance to make the play if they can get it done. Jerd though left alone, isolated. Zuma finds another kill on the round, and FaZe get back-to-back rounds.
Yeah, that round it all just comes down to Temp. Does he find a kill or two? Because he's in a position where he's set up in lobby, where he's watching the rotation. You know, obviously Looney goes down, but they still have a 4 versus 4. They're able to recover the bomb, and FaZe thinks that they're still at that B site. So they rotate from A. Temp gets into a great position in that lobby, but can't find it.
Yeah, I mean, Cellium beams in, then picks up another player pushing towards that back alley. So Cellium goes huge. And you talked about Splyce and that SMG duo. Jerd obviously going to be a part of it, but he's been comfortable in that role throughout the course of the year. The big thing, just how is he going to work together with Looney? See if FaZe can string together 3 in a row as they're looking to control mid-map and also make their presence known towards that A side. Can Zero once again find that opening snipe? Not going to need to. It's Zuma once again involved in the early action. He's out to 6 and 2. He's got 3 kills in a row. Splyce dropping like dominoes now. Nolson, last man up. This has been a very clean round for Splyce for FaZe as Splyce get off the map. And I think it was Zuma was what, 200 or so off streaks? He was darn close.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe do a great job just finding that first blood. Because Splyce have a lot of map control. They have 3 players inside elevator, but as soon as Zuma finds the guy watching top mid right here, it just opens up that lane. Those players in elevator are basically stuck. They give up the entire map. You saw Looney sort of going in circles. He knows that the pressure's coming. So a good job by FaZe.
Zuma, a remarkable influence early in these rounds. We'll see if he can keep it going, because now the question is he a little bit more passive since he's getting towards these streaks, or is he still looking to be that entry guy? We've seen teams struggle when your first point of contact is trying to play for streaks at times. We'll see how it bodes for them, but this is a heavy hit from Splyce. They're soaring towards this A site. Cellium, good job getting away with his life.
Yeah, this is more of a basic round for Splyce, right? Get right back to the basics, play that 5 versus 5. But here comes FaZe. They're gonna try and get this before the bomb is planted. They're gonna find that first blood on to Nolson. And we've seen it. Usually that first blood can entail the round, but Looney's able to make it a 4 versus 4. Zuma just able to get out with his life, but Jerd finds another one.
Yeah, now it might just be a question of trying to get these streaks. You're in a 3v4, you've got 30 seconds remaining. Zuma, Scraps, gonna be the last 2 up. Zuma gets 1 kill, now 100 points off the streaks. Under 20 seconds to go, just looking for an opening. Scraps wins another massive one-on-one. Now you have a chance to collapse. Can he get the streaks? Can he get the round win? Zuma hasn't quite finished the kill. Jerd's gonna gut him, and now his time is dwindling. Not enough there for the defuse as Scraps gets the kill. He's awfully close to streaks, but that's a big round win for Splyce, and at least he has shut down one of the players going for him. Now we'll see if Scraps can continue the hunt into the next round.
Yeah, huge individual play by Jerd there. I mean, just gets around that corner, plays his life on the stairs, and I think just able to catch that player in window with about 11 seconds left.
It felt like with that timing, it's almost like FaZe was caught between that. Do we both play for streaks or do we go for the round victory? And I think when Scraps won that big one-on-one, they had a chance to go for it, but kind of tough to make that call in that spot.
I mean, heck, if Zuma wins that gunfight, they probably both get streaks, since you would have the kill, and then he would have the bomb defuse as well.
Well, that could have been a very, very big round for FaZe. Scraps on your screen. It's been fun to watch the rise of this young man's career. Amazing to see him now on this FaZe lineup. The question is just, can they make a run this weekend? And the other question is, can he get these streaks? You can see he's got bomb. He'll be looking for a plant, trying to bait his teammate. That's going to be a nice frag grenade from Jerd. Cellium ripped off the map.
And once again, Splyce playing for so much map control towards that A side, inside elevator. Cellium just gets caught. Nolson, Looney, set up here is Jerd 9 and 5. A great game 2 for him. Temp with the wall bang, gonna find another one. Aqua. He will get sniped, but here comes the pressure. Jerd just collapsing, but Zero's ready for it.
Yeah, that RK7 is shooting nukes for Zero throughout this. Scraps just barely gets to the edge. So the streak hunt still here. 40 seconds left. They want to try and get this bomb planted so he can get the streaks, but it's difficult to get it done safely when you're in this 2 versus 3. Scrap's going to get caught. He's going to get caught as he moves through elevator. Now Zero going to be left to his lonesome. Can he get away with his life? Takes down the first, tries to snap to the second, but Looney there for the trade. And that's 2 in a row for Splyce. It'll bring us even at 3-3.
And I like what Splyce did. I mean, obviously in that previous defensive round, they get caught in elevator. There was 3 players there, but instead what they do is they take one out, they play top middle, they play the window. They still send to an elevator, so the pressure is there. They're able to find that first blood. Good mid-round adaptations out of Splyce.
Yeah, I think FaZe, you saw adapt early as they took the edge. Now Splyce answering as they bring it right back. Looney, the leader of this team, just had him on hot mic. It was interesting to hear his thoughts about playing with a character like Temp, but no, it was nice to have him on. He's incredibly well-spoken and obviously got a great mind for the game. But now what does Splyce do is they try to get back to offense. The sniper going to be put away for Zero on the FaZe side of things. Aqua, another first blood. Down a man early is FaZe Clan.
FaZe though, they
Dude, how many times has Zuma done that? I feel like that's the 3rd or 4th time where the first blood goes to Splyce and Zuma's almost instantly there to pick up a kill to even the odds.
That's a big one too, because that's Bombs. So Bombs down middle of the map. You do have Aqua here, but let's see if Zero, there's a couple of players pushing towards his side. It's Jerd, Nolson. Jerd not gonna get caught, but is Nolson? No, the RK7 comes through. 4 versus 3, that opens up top middle for Temp. Where are the trades for Splyce?
Celium goes huge. Celium ends up getting 2, and now it's going to be a 2 versus 2, but Jerd puts the odd back in the Splyce's favor. Now Asim, got to be the man that's going to clutch, runs out of bullets, tries to finesse, but both players are there. 3 in a row now for Splyce. Where did it fall apart for FaZe Clan there for you?
Well, I think when Zero doesn't find a kill, right? I mean, it's a very similar situation.
He's got to do what? He does 200 damage there.
One. He's got to find one. At least one. He has the ICR. Yeah, Jerd, I think, had a sliver of health left, able to get around. But if he finds one kill, it could be a much different round.
I mean, he's in the perfect position for that exact push. Just can't finish it. Celium gave him a chance at the round. He goes huge at elevator with those 2 kills, but just not enough. 4-3 now the round count to Splyce. Let's see what FaZe want to do on offense, and they're going to be headed towards B. Nolson likely going to have a chance to hit a shot here. He's going to jump out and challenge. There's everybody's home, but Zero's got a sniper on the other end of things. Asim goes flying off the top rope to try and apply early pressure, but he gets traded out. So 4 versus 4 now.
And I like
2
this
players hit bottom
Yeah,
mid.
they're just going. They're so reactive right now. Jerd and Temp able to find a couple of kills. They took top middle control, and now you have 2 players stuck in pipes for FaZe.
Another 2v3 for FaZe. Zero can't hit the no-scope. Scraps now trying to clutch up. They're going to swarm him, runs out of ammo, and ends up falling. Splyce 4 in a row as they've taken over this search and destroy. And yeah, I feel like they've been hyper aggressive when they find the openings, and it feels like every entry Jerd is finding a kill on this push.
Well, we always talk about like teams, why do they struggle in search and destroy? And one of the big things is they let the game come to them at times a little bit too much. I mean, we're seeing what Splyce is doing. As soon as they see presence B side, Temp, he just goes top middle. They immediately fly on out. They try to catch the rotators. They're able to do so.
And Jerd's got to be in double digits, I think, at this point.
Oh
Like
yeah, he's taking 10 last round.
Every single time they're pushing, he's at 11 and 7 now. He's always getting a kill before he drops, which is massive. And he's aggressive push that they're doing, but Zero, yet again, Temp. We'll see you in round 10. What a shot. I'm not challenging him mid-map again with the shots he's hitting.
FaZe though winning for the nades. Jerd somehow still able to stay alive. Got a nade off, but it's all FaZe. That's a very clean round.
They needed that. Well, 1 to stay alive in this map too, and I think that's a confidence builder there as they just smoke Splyce off the map, as that was, what, 4 in a row for Splyce. You get a really, really clean one there. Again, led off by that sniper from Zero.
You know, talked about Jerd, Zero as well. I think he's at 12 kills in this game, number 2.
Yeah, I think they've all come from, what, the palette of the RK7, basically. Best play will go from two scraps. He's able to pick up Jerd with a nade out, catches Looney in a similar format as they were trying to get those frag grenades out. They're going to have to peel off 3 straight if they're going to take a 2-0 edge in this series.
Look at the pressure from Splyce. This is going to be 4 versus 5 right off the start. It's like the hard point start, and well, Temp, Looney, they're ready for it. Looney's able to find 2. This is another clean round. and Splyce tape map number 2.
Yeah, they get the blind call there and just smoke FaZe off the map, and that is a huge one to bring the series even, guarantee an extended series. Were you impressed with what you saw from Splyce?
Yeah, I was. But here's the thing, right? I don't want to take anything away from it. I thought they looked great. When you're playing with no pressure, that is how you play, right? You're making those play calls. You're going for it. That's a tough thing for FaZe. They're going up a very talented Splyce team. This Splyce team also has no pressure. Coming in with a sub, people aren't expecting a lot from you. I mean, we know that, hey, they could go on a run.
And you think that type of mentality helps you the most in something like Search and Destroy?
Absolutely. I mean, when you're not expected to do certain things, or, again, for FaZe, you have those expectations, so we're expecting more from them.
Well, FaZe looked dominant in the respawn, but it's Splyce to take over in the Search and Destroy. The woes there continue for FaZe, but CWL Anaheim has just kicked off. We've got action all day. We'll be right back.
Call of Duty World League is presented by PlayStation 4, the official platform of the CWL, and Republic of Gamers, the official monitor of the CWL.
We are back here at CWL Anaheim. Series tied 1-1 between Splyce and FaZe. So far going, I think, how you kind of expected.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking if FaZe was going to improve their Search and Destroy. It's just one map, but Splyce played very well on that frequency. But I mean, for the hard point, they controlled it from start to finish.
Well, if you talk about how good FaZe has been at respawn, and Splyce obviously in the midst of this kind of team change, do you give them a better chance to get a control win versus something like a hard point?
Who, FaZe?
Splyce.
I mean, I think Control's a tough one, right? Like, it takes a lot of teamwork. I would think hardpoint, it's what you're probably playing the most with Nolson, trying to get him comfortable. But I mean, Splyce has been a great team, right? And I think with Looney leading those troops, I mean, hey, they can steal control.
Is there any, you mentioned kind of the search and destroy, that when you're playing without pressure, you can catch people off guard. Is there any way to take that mentality into control, or not so much? Just the opening push, really?
Yeah, the opening push.
Yeah, that's about it, yeah.
But typically, I mean, a lot of my experience comes from not control, because I didn't play it as a player.
That's true. All right, well, here we go into C-side. The first push to B, all the kills really going to Splyce. That's going to be 4 down, 5th will fall, and Splyce will get a 3-life advantage and some early aggression towards the FaZe side of the map. It's Jerd that maybe has a chance to make a play. Not going to be able to do it, but a team kill does come in for FaZe. Whew. Nice little grapple. Great movement from Asim to clear out the back steps and get inside.
Yeah, nice response from FaZe to at least get some map control. They have to try to slow down that clock. After that, 2 are going to go down, 3 go down for Splyce. Looney now just trying to hold on, has to dodge the nade, not able to do so. Splyce is going to have a chance to retake here. Aqua watching over his guys as they fly on through. There's only 40 seconds left on that round, so that's all Splyce wants to do, right? Try to win this without allowing them to capture at least 1 point and extending that time. That's what they're trying to retake right here.
But the problem, that life advantage, you were up, what, 3 after the opening break. FaZe answer so well. Now a 6-kill swing as it's a 3-kill advantage of FaZe Clan, and you get the point, and you have Scraps close to picking up streaks. Only 150 off. We'll see if they can feed him a kill. Not able to do so at the backside of the point. He's only got 11 in the chamber.
And that
must have heard me.
A weird push for Splyce, because they didn't try to retake it. They tried to trap him on in, and then their push afterwards just failed. So Splyce now in a situation where they've given up this A control. They didn't wait for FaZe to come to them. Now FaZe on this point. Zuma with the Maddox able to find one, but here comes Temp and Aqua.
You get streaks onto Asim, I believe, that's able to pick up a couple, and now a chance to get streaks for Scraps. You could have a fully loaded FaZe Clan, but there he is going to end up falling, but Zero. Still a bit of trickery inside of the point. Asim will follow that up instantly. There's only 4 lives left for Splyce. They're getting picked apart one by one. Not much they can do with the foothold you have here from FaZe. And this has been a very nice answer considering the nice opening break from Splyce.
Yeah, I'm still just like, from Splyce's point of view, after, yes, they give up the B site, and typically though teams try to retake that, right? Like 1 to 2 times. They don't care about the lives. They're just trying to win the round based on time. And yes, we've seen on Gridlock where you try to trap them in a zone. And it seems like Splyce did that, but they lost those initial gunfights.
You got literally the worst of both worlds of your Splyce. Not only did you not get to stop or take the time of the clock, but you also lost the life advantage. So it couldn't have gone much worse after that first
And then
push.
when you leave them on the zone, you see what happens. Those players are earning points towards the streaks. Because they don't win that first push, those players are able to earn them.
So you'll have Asim with 2 streaks to use as they now shift over to the defensive end. Not a good opening round from Nolson as he goes 1 and 6. Everybody really clicking on the FaZe side, everybody involved. Asim gonna ping the Lightning to get some information early, and that's maybe gonna slow down that opening push from Splyce as they were stacking inside of barrels, now looking for an opening. The Hellstorm's gonna come in. Yeah, not gonna get everything as they're all tucked away inside.
The ping gave them all that information, but the ping is also, I mean, taking 30 seconds off the clock. Like Splyce has not had 1 push, and now you have Temp trying to work the flank, but guess what? Asim's ready for it because he called in those streaks. Zero is able to find 2. Temp's getting pinched inside, and I mean, just off the break, because you have those streaks, that utility to work with, they're able to catch Splyce, and now this is gonna be so hard for them to get back into this round.
Yeah, this is actually crazy. 40 seconds remaining. It feels like they haven't even got to the 50-yard line with their push as they try to set up. Now the flank comes in from Zuma, gets 2 before he drops, staggers the push yet again, and allows his teammates to start pushing up the roof steps. Not an easy gunfight there between Aqua and Zero, but as Aqua is able to connect on the shots, Looney's stun at least gets him 1, but not gonna find any more. Zuma will slow them down with yet another stun as they try to get to the arch and get in. They'll thrust the TAC-5 into this as well. 10 seconds remaining, and there has been no sign of life from Splyce on offense, and they are down 10 lives. They just got cooked.
I mean, it just starts with the break off. They're worried about the Lightning coming in right off their mid strategy. They have to back on up, and well, because they back on up in the wine, in the barrels, you waste 30 seconds. And then you have to try to rotate out of that. But what that does is that gives up full map pressure, so FaZe is able to get in all the positions that they want. I don't even think they got on a point.
No. And we touched on kind of how scary this FaZe team is from a streak standpoint in hardpoint, but I mean the same is true here in the control. And I mean you're used to seeing what Scraps get them a lot, Zero get them a lot. If Asim's also going to be falling into that category, just so many weapons. And yeah, so much clock on before they get anywhere on the map. This is looking like it might be a very, very quick map. Asim still has the lightning, and another player closest streak, Zuma now, 155 off, as he's 12-6. He had a stellar search and destroy as well, but FaZe looking to go for the jugular here and close out this map with the quickness. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with FaZe Clan.
I died. Fuck. Two there.
One from church, one from church.
Don't
use the streak, don't use it.
I already used it. I'm in right now. Okay, back up. Oh my god!
That's right.
I better. One's on A. One.
No.
One day.
No, that's two.
You know, back up.
You got Hellstone?
No. I'm landing.
You go to call. For now. That green.
Zuma didn't get his streaks, but then somebody else does. Celium now has a lightning to use and a Hellstorm as he's getting close. They've already captured the B point. They've got a 4-life advantage and are looking to collapse onto A. They can end it here with one good push.
Yeah, I mean, plus you have those specialists starting to load on in as well for FaZe. Splyce, because they've struggled, especially in that round number 2. They aren't close at all. How do you counter this? You have the Tempest, you have the War Machine, and the Grav Slam coming in.
I mean, yeah, Nolson's on pace to get his TAC 5 in their next series. It's not coming anytime soon, Joe.
No, it's not. I mean, maybe if they can extend it, maybe the next hard point, I'm sure he'll get it.
3 kills through for FaZe as they now push up towards Courtyard. Asim going to grapple in, has the grab slam to use, but he's going to get picked off by Nolson. Some nice shots from Zuma, but he can't finish the kill. Gets it done with his fist, though, as the melee comes in.
I'm just hoping Asim hits 3. I'm hoping for a taco slam right off the break, right in the first match.
I'd appreciate that. You know, I'm a taco lover, Joe.
I know.
I really, really like him, Joe.
Me too. Maybe they'll give you some.
Yeah. 3-life advantage to FaZe, just looking for this next push and coming in from behind. It's going to be Zero. Easy pickings for him. Those are your teammates, pal. Asim then trying to get in, maybe set up the grab slam on the flank, but that's going to be 3 kills for Splyce. The life advantage still to FaZe, though. Scraps and Celium go big inside the hardpoint. Still going to be Aqua. What a big couple of kills that was to keep them alive in this round 3. But you just think Asim is the guy you've got to watch. She's got the chance to go for the dagger. I say that, though. You've got Tempest and War Machine as well.
And it seems like they're just hanging on to him. They're trying to be conservative in case something goes wrong. But there we go. 4 dead. You pop everything right here.
That's it.
Zero's going to find another one. We're not going to get tacos this map, but FaZe, another comfortable respawn for them as they're looking to close out this control.
So far, so good when it comes to the respawns, and I think if you haven't watched a lot of FaZe Clan, or if you saw maybe what happened to them at London, the results obviously not what they want. We've seen improvements over the course of the final 2 weeks of the Pro League, and now you're seeing how strong they can be here. Katie, Desk, what are your thoughts on that control?
Thank you very much, Maven. Again, there you have it. We're moving on through FaZe Clan taking that control over Study, it seemed like, looking very strong.
They were 7-0 coming into Anaheim from Pro League in control. And the way that they just played that map was a complete slaughter, if you ask me. FaZe just looked so prepared compared to Splyce. Obviously, Splyce is coming in with a sub, but FaZe just in respawn in general are just clicking on all cylinders.
I started to laugh during that listening because like, we're going to jump into listening with FaZe, and Zuma didn't say a single word, but he's like 15-7, absolutely destroying. So I just thought that was pretty funny, but FaZe looked incredible. On the flip side of that, though, I was focused on this Optic game that is going nuts right now. It was 1-1 in the control. Optic's now starting to pick up some steam, sitting at 2-1. Here's a search and destroy that units are able to close out.
And this is on that Charlie streak for anyone who wants to check it out.
This is insane because Optic coming in to Anaheim from London, from Pro League, are 14-3 in S&D, which is their best record-wise game mode. And the fact that they're losing Units, formerly known as Denial, it was their best game mode coming in. So they're really confident, especially on Arsenal S&D.
So what's really important out of this pool, more so than just them losing this match, I still expect Optic to make it through if they were to lose this, but getting 3-0'd is rough. They could get 3-0'd currently. If they get second in that pool, their first match out will be against FaZe. That is a tough match. Last time they played, assuming FaZe get first, obviously, but FaZe looking incredible. That pool seems to be on lock for them. Yeah. That is crazy. That is what Optic wants to avoid at all costs. You do not want to play a team that strong right out of the gate.
Yo, so check this out, man. Joe, the redheaded monster, going big here. He's sitting at 11-5, picks up that final 2-piece, close out the game, and you know, going into that control.
Now this is the live here on Charlie for the control, of course, with Optic down 2-0 to units.
Yeah, Optic started to pick up a little bit of steam here. Pretty much every round thus far, the team has conceded A right off the rip, and then it's been a fight for that B street. I actually think Optic should have closed this out 3-0. The round that units won, Optic had a kill advantage, and they were holding that B street, and units kind of just barrel rolled straight through that street. Joe got inside the 18, was able to pick up some kills, and now it's looking like Optic's going to be able to close this out. So going to be sitting out down 1-2 in the series, but I don't think units have what it takes to beat Optic in two hard points.
Rack had 47 kills that first hard
Looking
point.
like a Game 5 series.
That's just something I don't think he's going to be able to repeat. So I'm thinking this series is going to be able to be pushed to a Game 5 for sure.
Do units have what it takes to win a Game 5, Katie? Do they?
I mean, just getting there right there. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably didn't expect it.
But if Optic comes back in this series, they're going to have that momentum on their side. Yeah. If it gets to that Game 5, I expect Optic to take it. I think Denial needs to, units need to find a way to win that map 4. I think they can win both hard points.
What I want to know, and I think also what Maven wants to know, when do you guys think we're going to get free tacos? How long into this? Today, tomorrow?
I think we're going to get a lot of free tacos. 3-piece grab slam, we see that.
We see it all the time.
When is frequency hardpoint getting played? you get one of those every match.
Is it only for main stage matches? I believe it is.
Main stage, it's only alpha. Yeah. But we're going to get him. And on that note, we're ready to get back into things. On alpha, maybe get some free tacos. We're going to send it back over to Merc and Maven.
I sure hope so, Katie. But thank you guys hopping around, checking out the action throughout the course of the day. But let's get back to our series. FaZe dominating the respawns. Unfortunately for Splyce, we are headed to another respawn. Do you give Splyce much of a chance to take a Game 4?
I mean, it's a gridlock hard point, right? When you're playing gridlock, a lot of heavy rotations. We saw anything from Splyce when they were able to do it, I mean, they held some hills for 40 to 50 seconds at a time. I mean, typically, though, gridlock's on a map where it is very difficult to take over as an individual. It very much so has to be a team game. So a guy like Temp, this is tough for him. It's not a seaside. It's not a frequency where he can just take on over. So you need the whole team to contribute here.
We'll see if they can get it done and get us to a map 5 to kick off Anaheim. But we'll start off with Zero. He's been sensational throughout this past, 3 to 4 weeks. With the switch to the ICR. Team kill from FaZe. Who's going to be left standing? One-on-one inside. Tim going to be able to pick it up, so Tim will be the last guy here. He's got 2, chance for 3.
Yep, good start for Splyce, but you'll see right away, numbers 3 and 5, that's going to be Zuma and Celium already starting to hit that top street, thinking about the next rotation as they hit this underpass. Temp, he's going to get caught in the side somehow. Zuma doesn't finish the kill, and this might be his death. He does have some help, though, as Celium able to find those 2 kills and immediately flips the spawn. So a great heads-up play from Celium and Zuma to set up for hill number 2.
Scraps already in that power position inside of 18. It's the seam trying to finesse into Sushi, but Jerd with the pressure trades it out. He'll drop nearly instantaneously right after it. That's a cluster on your toe, unfortunately, for Zuma. He's going to end up exploding. Celium, though, in the hard point, the close spawn for FaZe Clan. Look at the flanker, that number 1. It's Scraps trying to go around through Ice Cream, and that's just easy pickings for him. Gets 2 kills. The third hasn't even reacted yet. Finally, Aqua able to shut him down, but that completely destroys the first push from Splyce.
It's a bit unfortunate because at the same time he was top middle, Jerd was just on the other side of the truck, right? So Splyce thinks that middle's covered because Jerd just hit that route. There's nobody on the flank. That's why the communication seemed a little bit off. Celium was 75 points away, not able to find those streaks. There's still a little bit pressure here, but you can already see on the minimap Splyce going to give this one up with about 20 seconds left and try to set up for hill number 3.
And that's what's going to be interesting. If they're going to rotate early with 25, 30 seconds on the clock, they have got to be incredible in the early going. And now you have 3 fall, and look at the flanker coming through in a seam, so a chance to collapse. Suddenly you have what, a 3-on-2, maybe 4-on-2, and you got the scrap time with the old hard point. This is a disaster right now for Splyce.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about, and we saw this on Hacienda. So FaZe with an early break on that rotation. You now have them in the hill. All the kills going the way of FaZe. That's going to stagger the push a little bit as Nolson, the last member here, and he just has to back away.
That couldn't have been easier. That could not have been easier. You had a man disadvantage to FaZe in that push. I mean, when they first go and hit through, it's what, a 3-on-4? They don't even drop a player in that first wave. And then they get set up inside of the hard point. Now, I feel like every time we swap, there's somebody on FaZe that's close to streaks. This time, it's Zero's opportunity.
He's just trying to find a bullet, and well, the bad thing for Splyce, once again, you're spawning out. So you're gonna see Zuma trying to lock down top middle. Aqua, though, with a nice couple of kills, and Zero's just gonna back away, wait for his teammates. Splyce, though, able to get inside that broken building. If there's a hill, they can get right back into it. It is absolutely this one.
But if you get broken early,
yeah, it's bad. And now you have streaks that can go in the top middle, right? You have those streaks, so Zero can find them.
Oh, no.
This could be the game right here.
Oh, no. Asim gets 3. It's another sweep in for FaZe Clan, and they're looking to close this one out very, very early as Asim comes up with 4. And now him and Zero on the hunt for streaks together. Splyce is just being cut through so easily.
Yeah, Scraps now, he's on some streaks as well. Zero's been alive for so long. Really, most of his points have just come from being in the hill. It will get taken down for a cluster. You know, that's a little bit frustrating, but Scraps, he at least gets the lightning strike. Can he find the Hellstorm? He does. So those will be big going into that first hill. And I mean, if you're up 80 to 90 points going into that first hill with streaks, it's only gonna get scarier.
They have 5, Joe.
They have 5 streaks?
Yes.
Oh.
They have 5. So they're in a pretty good spot. They're up 70, and you have all those to use as well. Plus, you're already set up top middle, so you don't even need to use those streaks unless you get broken in the early going on this particular hard point, unless they just want to throw some for early control, considering the lead that you have and the number of streaks that you have. The push from Splyce towards hole in the wall. They run into the wall that is Scraps, who slows it down. That's Asim there with the trades. Asim at 12 and 7 has had a delightful little series, especially in the respawns. He's going to go ahead and call in the lightning immediately on their side of the map. Aqua's able to push through, but not for long. Scraps calls in a Hellstorm as well that finds a teammate, also finds Looney. But you use those couple of streaks, and it's going to be Splyce that's still holding down top middle.
Yeah, I think Nameless was talking about it on, well, another streak comes in for Zero. Yeah, again, that's where you're going to use those streaks, but Nameless was talking about it. Asim had such a good couple of weeks at Pro League, showing it here. Has really stepped on up, and I think he's taken a lot of pressure off of a guy like Zuma, right? Like Zuma on this team, we don't see him. There used to be, if FaZe was going to win, Zuma had to play at such a high level. Now he's that guy taking the long routes, right? He's the guy playing smart, and I mean, he's got so many tools and beasts around him.
Yeah, it's wild to think about a player like Asim. Like, how many new faces, how many new players, how many young players have just been taking over their respective roles. Obviously some additional faces just due to the nature of the switch to 5v5, but just an unreal amount of talent this year. Asim has his grab slam to use.
I'm seeing 3 in the back.
Here we go, set it up! Do it! Do it! Sorry fans, he's not gonna go for it, so no tacos quite yet. His teammates do cut down 3 though, and I joked about Nolson at Attack 5. I actually don't know if he's going to get in the map 4. Now he's starting to get closer, but unfortunately a couple of rough maps for the sub. Back-to-back here for Splyce. You still have 2 streaks for FaZe. They've got a massive advantage when you talk about the specialists, at least with a couple of those matchups.
Splyce, though, do a good job. I mean, they get themselves back in the game, only down 50 now.
It feels like it should be more, right?
Yeah, and now it's one of those situations. Asim does connect the 2, doesn't find the 3rd. But he has another player. This was a situation that we saw FaZe in, and they were able to break this. So now it's on the Splyce if they can do it, but it's not off that rotation. So the first 15 seconds, gonna go the way of FaZe. But here comes the push from Splyce. Nice movement out of Asim, but on the other side of the map, his teammates go down.
He's out there breaking ankles, but yeah, it is Splyce. It's still gonna be inside of the hard point. Aqua teeing off with the ICR as he locks down 2. They get this remaining time, and yet somehow, despite the fact that you get 5 streaks, 3 hard points in a row for FaZe and a 100-point advantage early. This could be a 30-point game. And now a chance for streaks finally for Splyce. Temp so close. Temp sitting at 15 and 13, but it's been 5 in a row for him. Just needs to get a bullet in. There's the kill, there's the streak.
And is he gonna use it here? Yeah, he's gonna ping right here. He's gonna see all those players in the back, and this could be a big lightning if it connects. Well, it connects with his teammate. Nothing else though, but It does weaken the FaZe players. So now you have the back if you're Splyce. You're only down 30 points now. A chance to get right back into the game. And Temp's going to find the help. Snapped on Nazuma as well. And just like that, it was FaZe in the first rotation. It's Splyce in this one.
It felt like FaZe may have had them buried, but Splyce fighting back with a vengeance as they're now looking to possibly take the lead on this hard point. Down 16, Looney, Tempest out. As the push all through the backside for FaZe Clan. Can he hit a shot? Can it chain? He hits it. It's gonna chain, he's gonna drop. Is there anyone there to pick it up? It looks like Aqua's able to do it. One still dropped to the back. An opening for Jerd to push forward, so Looney does his job. Wow. He gets 3 on their knees, and now just a 6-point deficit for Splyce. What is this comeback, Joe?
I mean, it's what we saw out of that first rotation, and you thought that FaZe with all those streaks, we're going to be able to basically put the game away. Temp, though, going to call in his Hellstorm. That's going to allow Jerd to sit on this hill. He's got the grab slam as well. There is that tack 5. Nolson does earn it. So he's got some pressure towards the lower side. I see him. He's going to have to force to use one of the final streaks that FaZe has.
He's going to hover, see if he can at least pick up one. Lands on the backside of the block, and I don't think he actually ends up picking up anything with it. But gets him out of the hard point, at least for a bit of time, and then his teammates clean up the kills at mid-map. What in the hell was that? What was that? Scraps just killed everyone on his team and himself.
That was possibly the worst streak I've ever seen.
That might be the worst lightning ever. Well, we did see Benson have a really bad one on his stream the other day, but that's tough when your streaks are being compared to that. That was horrific.
That just comes down to communication to me. I mean, FaZe, you're in that situation. You have so many streaks, and they're just not able to capitalize. Grassland in from Jerd, able to find one, but a chance for FaZe maybe to get right back into the game as they set up for this second hill. Tack 5 in from Zuma.
Yeah, the team kill with the stream is all calculated, Joe. They've got control now.
It was for rotation. He didn't like where they were spawning.
Yeah, get back to spawn squad. Well, they've got the control they want. They've got the back, but now the pinch coming in. It's going to be Aqua, the lone man, trying to hit through the front side. He's going to drop. Zero able to win that one-on-one ICR duel, and now it's just a scramble in the back line. Looney shuts down 2, maybe the opening they need. Jerd slides forward, but Zero's going big. He gets a kill with a frag grenade as well, and he gets a 3rd. Zero, what a play from Pillar to keep FaZe inside. Now 206, 206.
And that was such a big 3rd kill as well, because that was Temp who was calling in the War Machine. So no War Machine. Zero now 35 points away. Does get taken down by the other ICR of Splyce. But on this rotation in the dojo area, Vision pulse in. That's going to be from Zero, so they should be able to hold this off. And well, the good thing for Splyce, because there's still 10 seconds left on the hill, they can just wait. They have time. They only need 1 break. 30 seconds to win this map 4 and send us to a map 5. Celium with the Tempest, able to connect on the 1. That player's going to be all right, but he's going to be down for a while.
And Scraps has gone huge during this sequence as well. He picks up a kill mid-map. He gets one on the flank, and now Celium connecting, and Zero looking over him. A chance to close it out here. Tries the 180, but ends up falling. Looney and Jerd looking for the openings to get into the hard point. Now just 10 points needed for FaZe to close this out. Splyce still need to put 30 on the board. Can they get in? Can they contest? Aqua and Tip a chance to do it. They're going to both drop. That should be game series. FaZe Clan.
Yeah, you see Scraps shaking his head right there. I think after that first rotation, they thought it was done. They have 5 streaks. I will say, a wonderful job by Splyce to get right back into that game. But Zero goes big, a huge play from him, selling him throughout that map 4. A great game.
Is that one of those spots where maybe the leadership comes into question for FaZe because you get that big lead, you're like, oh, we've got them buried. Sometimes you need someone to be like, slow it down, guys. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Well, I just think it comes down to the communication. I'm not sure what the comms were, but again, I think when you have 5 streaks, you go to that top middle hill, the comms have to be on point, so what happened to Scraps doesn't happen on that map. I mean, it was just an opportunity to put the game away.
Did he get all 5, like himself and 4? Was
I think
himself
it was 4.
and 3?
It was 4. I don't think we give him tacos for that. I think we take tacos.
Oh, that's a Maven's mishap if I've ever seen one. That was horrific, but they do get the map victory, and I mean, it was a story of streaks, good and bad for FaZe. It felt everyone at some point in that series for FaZe was able to get streaks. They dominated that over the course of the respawns. Yes, some were good. Yes, some were bad. Yes, some were ugly. but you're gonna take that massive advantage. Like, I'd love to hear from JP what it actually was at the end of it, because it feels like it's like, what, 2 streaks total, 4 streaks total for Splyce. On the other end, you had such a lopsided result for FaZe Clan, but guys, for our PlayStation instant reaction, we've got the best lightning strike player in the game. It's Scraps.
Thank you, Clint. So we're here at Anaheim. It's been a couple weeks since I spoke to you at Pro League. How have things been going for FaZe since then?
It's been great. We've been smoking everybody in scrims. As you can tell, them respawns are pretty one-sided, apart from that last one. So we've been working really hard, and it's paying off.
And exactly what happened with that lightning strike there?
I'm putting in a complaint because I don't know how that killed all 4 of them. I didn't even put it on him, so I nearly cost it again. But we managed to pull out and win, and I'm happy.
All right, well then, looking forward, what do you think of your pool here at Anaheim?
Obviously, that's our toughest game. We're going to play every team like we're playing Optic Gaming, but the next 2 teams we should easily beat if we go in and play our game. I'm excited.
All right, well, thank you so much. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. Over to Katie at the desk.
Thank you so much, Jess. And despite that little mishap there with that lightning strike, doesn't matter because FaZe Clan was able to win over Splyce. And to that point, Pac-Man, what out of FaZe did you see that you liked in that series?
In all the respawns, they take advantage of your mistakes. So first map, the first rotation of the game was essentially tied. Splyce give up first hill early and rotate to second hill. FaZe instantly break. One mistake out of Splyce, instantly break that hill, and from there on, the game was a wash. Like, FaZe is so good in the respawn at making the right decisions quickly and together, and that's why they're ahead in those modes. That's what I don't like about their search. How fundamentally strong they are in the respawns, it's their weakness in the search as well.
Watching that search, though, I didn't really have a problem with what FaZe Clan did, even though they lost it. It's just you were going up against a Splyce team that didn't have any strategy. They were changing their gameplay every single round, and it was totally different. We saw Zuma just being able to trade his kill every time one of his teammates just went down. They were playing correctly, it's just they could not read Splyce because they were just barely a new team.